joining Hoops Hitting Gems podcast. I'm your host, David Jones. Want to thank everybody for coming on the show as usual. From around Georgia, around the Southeast, East Coast, Midwest, and some of the West Coast listeners. Thank you for joining in. We got another great show as usual. And I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to show some of the girls' high school coaches some love. And definitely in Georgia, we have some really good coaches. And Georgia, to me, is one of the best basketball states, girls and boys-wise. And some of the talent we have is, man, this is past weekend of me going to the She Got Game Classic. I seen some girls that can really go.
Yeah.
And I want to definitely introduce our special guest tonight. And it's not in Atlanta, folks, this time, so you can get off my head. We got our guest from Georgia this time, down at Baldwin High School, that definitely Coach Kizzy Walker coaches one of the top teams, not just in that middle Georgia area, but in the state. How you doing today, Coach Walker?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, and thank you for coming on to the show tonight. We definitely wanted to show some love to Middle Georgia because you got some players down there, and
yes,
definitely a great coach as well. And I just wanted to touch, and not only your program, I wanted to talk about you, your background, the players you have, and as well as the Baldwin's girls program as well. So we'll jump right into it. So tell us a little bit about you, and you're a Baldwin graduate, correct?
I am. I'm a 96 graduate from Baldwin High. Okay. And then I received a scholarship to Georgia Southwestern State University in Americus, Georgia. Okay. I was an All-American Freshman Player of the Year. I won the Naismith Award for the Small College Player of the Year. And I also had tryouts I was supposed to go overseas, but I was scared. So I didn't do that.
Okay.
Being the only child, I didn't want to go anywhere. I stayed home and started teaching.
Understood. How long?
And I was inducted into the Hall of Fame at Georgia Southwestern.
Wow. Okay. And how long have you been at Baldwin coaching?
This is my 7th year coaching. The first 2 years I was helping the boys coach. Okay. And then it came available for the girls position. And so then I've been coaching them. This is my 5th year.
So it's your 5th year coaching the girls. Okay.
Yes.
And for people that don't know, you have been the region coach of the year a couple times, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a tough competition. It was tough competition out of Augusta with Burke County and Cross Creek. So it was always us back and forth.
Okay. So let me ask this. So out of your program, have you had any girls from your program go on to play on the collegiate level?
I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my girls to go and play on the collegiate level.
Okay.
My first year I had 1. My second year I had 1. My third year I had 1. And then this past year I had 2. 3. I'm sorry, I had 3 this past year.
Okay. So you got a little reputation for putting them in the school. Okay. And
yes,
for you,
gotta go to school.
All levels, you're open to all levels for your girls, correct?
Yes, I am. Junior college on up. It will develop them.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about this year's team. Tell us about the team you have this year.
Well, this year's team is very young. I only have 1 senior. That's Tamiya Smith. I have a junior. She doesn't play a whole lot. She's just trying out the game of basketball. But I have about 5 sophomores and I have 3 freshmen. And the freshmen are all post players. I have a 6'4" post player, 6'2", and a 6 foot.
Okay, so you got some height with you. Okay.
Yes, finally. I finally got all of the positions together. Where I used to be guard heavy. Now I have it. It's just all around.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about some of your sophomores as well. What about your sophomores?
So I have a standout sophomore, Madison Ruff, that people are pulling on all around everywhere because she can really go. She can handle the ball. She's all out on defense. She's even getting her shooting game together. So she's just about to be an all-around player. And I really think she is ready for D1 by the time she finishes her high school career.
Okay. And anybody else besides Madison that stands out?
Yes, I have several guards from the sophomore. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just they hustle, they play hard, they are all about team ball. They're good on defense, and we're still developing them. They're not as tough as Madison just yet, but they give her a run for her money at practice. They make her better. She makes them better. So then we're just working. And then I have my senior, Tamiya Smith. She does well, and she's the leader of the team. Last year, she won a lot of awards. She was the All-Region Player of the Year. See, I have some notes here. All-Region Player of the Year. Second team All-State for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. She was the All-County Player of the Year. Third team All-Region for Quad A. And she is almost close to her 1,000th point. She's within 50 points. She's a great shooter. She's been shooting. She's battled with injury, so she's trying to come back around off of that. But besides that, she's a great player.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What type of schedule do you play? Is it mostly in the region, or do you like to get out and play all over?
I like to get out and play all over, especially with this team since they're so young. So we went and played Luella. They were number 1 in the state when we played them. We went down by 1 because we missed free throws at the end, and one of my post players, my daughter, she missed 2 putbacks that could have won us the game. She was too far up under there. And then we just played Carver over the break, the 28th or something of December, and we went down 4 with them. Same thing, free throws.
Columbus
they pressed us the whole game, so they were like jittery. You know, the lower class, they didn't have that experience, but that was a great experience for us.
Columbus Carver.
Again, we expect to win.
Not Atlanta Carver, Columbus Carver, right?
Columbus Carver.
Got you. And Columbus Carver girls are pretty good. Carver. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah. So you played Columbus Carver, you played Luella, and I think you played Carrollton, right? No,
we didn't play Carrollton. We played
Columbus Carver played Carrollton because Carrollton is undefeated. They're really good. They're like 14-0 right now.
Oh,
so you may see them down the line if they're in your region. But wait,
they're not in our region. I think they're 5A.
They're 5A. Okay. And you're 4A, correct?
We're 4A.
Okay. What Christmas tournaments or holiday tournaments did you play?
That's when we played Carver. It was the after Christmas tournament in Columbus.
Okay.
So we played Central of Alabama. We beat them.
Okay.
By a lot of points, but Carver we had problems with.
Okay. Because you showed your youth a little bit, huh?
Yes, we did. Okay. We had 36 turnovers. We shot 25% from the free throw line, but we still lost by 4.
Turnovers?
36.
And you still only lost by 6, you said?
4.
With 36 turnovers and 25% from the free throw line.
Yes. But see, I have a post player that can handle the ball. So while they were doubling and triple teaming Madison, so I had a post player bring up the ball, and she ran the break. We still scored. And even though they double and triple Madison, she was the highest scorer on the team. So it's hard to contain her.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, you are going through some growing pains, but you're going through some growing pains with some great talent, man.
Yes.
Because usually 36 turnovers, that means you lost by 40.
Oh no, we lost by 4, and it could have been a different ball game if we would have hit our free throws.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
The end, it was at the end too where we missed them.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. We have some of our loyal listeners chiming in. They love watching the show. Happy New Year, brother, to you. Let me ask, and while we're talking about this, Coach Dove is one of the post-grad and prep coaches up at Winston Prep up in Massachusetts. So he always chimes in because I'm making a point to have, I have female women coaches on all the time. And so he's always got that Hawkeye out for, especially a girl that needs a post-grad year. Don't be surprised if he's tweeting and DMing you because,
Okay.
he's big on helping, the young ladies as well.
That is awesome. We need it.
Definitely. So let me ask this. So, and I don't want to give any of your secrets away. Are you a fast-paced team or are you a controlled offense team?
We're whatever we need to be. If we can push the ball and go and score, we push the ball and go and score. If we have to set up offense and run a play to score, then we'll do that as well.
Okay.
But whatever the defense gives us, that's what we do.
Okay. So are you a pressing team?
Oh, yeah, we press.
Okay.
But we don't press all the time.
Okay. Gotcha.
We would press most of the time.
Now, let me ask the big question here. Are you a man team or are you a zone team?
Man and zone. We do both.
Okay.
We try to switch it up. Can't stay the same.
Absolutely.
You got to try to confuse the offense.
Absolutely. So in the past, and because I know this season is still young, how far have you went in the state tournament?
My first year, we went Sweet 16.
Okay.
Second year, we went Sweet 16. Third year, it was one and done. And this past year was one and done. So we can't do that anymore.
Okay.
But we didn't have the talent that we have this year either.
Okay.
We were only guard heavy. Now we are all around.
So are you winning your region or?
Yes.
Okay. So you're winning your region and you're probably catching some tough teams. Are you catching them down there or do you have to come to Atlanta? Augusta, where are you playing them at?
Our region is very weak this year. And so I think that is a drawback for us because we don't get prepared for state playoffs. And I think that's what happened with us last year. We were so used to just, blowing people out. And then when we came and had some competition, it was like they didn't know what to do because, they were young. Mm-hmm. I had my freshmen that I really depended on. My upperclassmen, not so much because they didn't have that drive that they needed. But I counted on my freshmen a lot, and it was too much for them.
But it makes them stronger, though, because think about it. Now they have a year of experience. So come this time, it should be somewhat of a different story, and especially the next 2 years.
Yes.
It'll be battle tested. So you said you play a pretty tough schedule. So do you play some of the teams in Augusta as well as Atlanta? I know you said you played Llewellyn.
We played Laney this year.
Okay.
But we blew Laney out. I don't think they were at the top of their game this year.
Yeah, they're down this year.
Yeah, they are. So we didn't get good competition there. The greatest competition we had was Luella, Carver, and we played Northside. Northside gave us a good competition as well. One of my freshmen, she made the winning shot at the end to make us win by 2 because we were tied, and she took the shot, and we won by 2.
So with that being said, let me ask this, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. You probably have some college coaches lurking around in that gym.
Yeah, we do. We have. They don't per se come to the gym, but I get a lot of text messages, want to talk to me about the players, and also we had one coach come and watch. It was the open gym, so.
And that's what I was just getting ready to ask too. So you have an open gym, and here's why it's unfair for you, unfortunately, because with you being in Milledgeville and you not being in Metro Atlanta,
it's really rough and hard for me. Everybody gets all the attention in Atlanta, but down here in poor little middle Georgia, it's hard.
Well, what about like Georgia College and State University? I'm sure they have to be in your backyard and checking your girls out, right?
No, I haven't heard anything from Georgia College.
Well, listen, Georgia College, if you're listening to the podcast tonight, you are making a mistake there. And I'm sure your alma mater has to, keep an eye out.
Oh, yes. We went to camp there, and so he saw a few girls that he wanted.
Okay. So, do you come up to Atlanta to any of the teen camps?
I came to Georgia State one year, but then COVID and all that stuff happened, and so
Gotcha.
I haven't had a chance to really go back there. We went to Georgia, UGA. We
Okay.
usually go to UGA. We went to University of South Carolina, to the Gamecocks. We usually
Wow.
go a whole lot of different places, but
Okay.
COVID has shut down a whole lot of stuff.
Definitely. Because I was going to ask, do you go to Auburn's camp? Because Auburn wouldn't be too bad of a drive for you, right?
No, it wouldn't be. No, I
Yeah.
haven't gone there yet.
Okay. Okay. So I see you do a little bit of everything and keep them all over.
Yes, I do. Try to
Okay.
expose them, show the talent that they have.
That's the name of the game. So what about, and I know your one player plays for the EYBL team here in Atlanta. Is there a team for your other girls per se that they play on? Do they play in Middle Georgia? Do they come to Atlanta?
So Tamiya, she used to play with Nike Elite, but she went over to another team, but she's no longer playing now because she's a senior.
Okay.
My daughter and another freshman, they play with Porter Sports out of Columbus.
That's out of Columbus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Coach Porter. Yeah, Coach Porter. I met him at the JUCO Jamboree this year. Yeah, good guy. Definitely a good guy.
And then I have the other ones. They're here locally with Bostic Next Level.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm assuming they would have to. The majority of them come and played at least in something in Atlanta.
Oh, yes, they do.
Besides just, traveling outside the state. Because I know Madison travels outside the state. And
Yes.
Your local ones, do they travel out of the state or do
they travel out of state too? Yes.
Oh, good. And they probably play in like Run for the Roses and stuff like that as well.
Yes, they do.
Exactly.
Yes, they do.
Okay, good.
Bostic is all about exposing athletes, so he does a lot with that.
Okay.
He's local here. He has write-ups about the girls, so that's a good thing as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to pay attention to that. Now, this is your hometown, Milledgeville, and you came back. Yes. Has that always been a dream for you to come back and play for the school you graduated from?
I was scared to come and get a position here. I was like, these people won't hire me to be a coach. I just didn't think I was able to do it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But then the head coach of the boys is like, you need to try for that position. I said, you're just trying to get rid of me.
Okay.
Well, then I tried for it. I got it.
Okay,
so it's been a ride. I've enjoyed it.
Okay. And with that being home, and I'm sure your family comes to support you, and
yes,
all the locals, since they already know you, probably support you as well because you built a good program. And my good friend down there, Will, was he just kept praising. He's like, hey man, you got to see the girls. They're really good. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get down there and check them out.
Yeah, they're pretty good to be so young. To be young, yes, they are.
They're going to be fine. So I'm assuming once they come back for team camp, you have them from, let's say, Memorial Day until the end of June, correct?
Yes, I do.
And
so we travel different places, going to camps, trying to get them working on the things that they need to work on: defense, offense, one-on-one, shooting, whatever.
And that's every day, like during June, or how do you do it?
June. The majority of June is just basketball.
Okay.
Even some Sundays we have to go to a camp. So
okay, which is good, definitely good. So do they have, like, outside of when you don't have camps, is there do you scrimmage like maybe a West Side Macon or Jones County team?
Yes, we do. We go and play in June with them because, June is the only time that we can, it's the last day of school until June, the end of June, that we can work with the girls as a team.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But in July, after 4th of July, we can do up to 4 at a time.
Okay.
So we can if there's no scrimmaging unless they do it amongst themselves.
Got you. But what I'm saying, during June, when you're not, because I know you play in a couple of team camp events, per se here in Atlanta, when the times, most of the team camps are usually on a Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. And sometimes, like during Monday through Wednesday, they may call up the school and say, "Hey, let's scrimmage each other."
See, I don't have those connections yet, but I'm looking for them because we need that. We need it. We really and truly need it. Yes.
Well, if you're willing to travel to Atlanta, I know a number of schools. Okay, a number of schools that would be willing to play you on that.
I am willing to travel. We need to get better.
Okay, I will definitely keep that in mind and shoot those coaches' numbers over to you who do exactly what I'm referring to.
That would be
because for me, I want to see not only that, and from my own selfish premonition, I want to see all of your girls, especially the 6'4" one. I'm like, oh, I got to see her. I'm like, man, that's not your daughter.
We're still working with her. We got to get her aggressive, the Baldwin aggression, but we're working.
That's not your daughter, is it?
No, my daughter's 6'1", 6'2", whichever.
Tall enough. Tall enough. You got a 6'4".
She can shoot the three.
Okay.
She can shoot the three. She can post up. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that size right there is going to catch a number of people, and I see you got some of your school students in. What's up, Ice? What's going on? They talking about you guys got some state potential this year.
Oh yes, boys and girls.
Boys and girls. Oh yeah, the boys. I'm familiar with the boys. The boys are good.
Hopefully we bring it home. Girls first play for the state championship, and then the boys behind us.
Okay. Hey, listen, and the boys won it last year.
Oh yeah,
the boys won it last year, and it's not to say they can't do it again this year and repeat. Absolutely. And like I said, from my selfish points, I want to see this height you got to go with your guard play. That's what I want to see.
They're not just tall; they're solid as well.
Okay.
So it's hard to move them.
And listen, if you said nobody's coming to that open gym, that will change in these next 2 years. Okay. That will definitely change because anytime you say you got somebody 6'4", coach's eyes are going to light up, and you got a 6'2" playing the power right next to it. And I'm like, okay, what's going on down there? I'm like, man, you better go check them out. Now it's a little drive from Atlanta, but it'll be worth it.
It is. It's worth it.
Okay. And so now the only down thing about that, and you just mentioned it as well, is the region is not as strong because a lot of times when those coaches come down there, they want that bang for their buck. They want to go to Baldwin, then they want to go to the next school in Macon or the next school in maybe Albany or something to that extent. And if there's not 3, 4, 5 teams, and everybody, oh yeah, I can get to this gym, and this gym, then they start asking, when are they coming to Atlanta? Because they don't want to go too far from the airport, unfortunately.
Yes.
So that's really your only downfall, and that's by no fault of your own. I mean, Carver has a good team, and you're how far from Columbus?
About 3 hours, like 2.5 hours away from Columbus.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know you were that far from Columbus.
Yes, we're far.
Boy, that does. And how far are you from Augusta? Let me ask that.
About an hour 45 to 2 hours, just depending on what school we go to.
Jeez.
We're right in the middle of everything, so it takes a while to get everywhere.
And then it takes another 2.5 to get to Savannah too, right?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. You are right in the middle of Georgia. There's no doubt about that. Man. And that's a shame because the competition around you, you're putting hands on them. I mean, you're blowing them out. So now everybody's like, who's this team? And then, the naysayers will say, oh, they haven't played anybody, until they see you and state like, hey, they're pretty good, which can be good and bad because, playing those good teams, as and you've done a good job playing some of those good teams preseason and, during the holidays. Like you said, it's not really prepping them up during district play to be battle tested. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just one of those things, and even my next guest, I already know my next guest, when he comes on, he'll probably have an eye because when he say 6'4", he's gonna be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? What's that going on? Like and I'll tell him, like, man, they can play, but they're down in the middle of nowhere,
We're in the
unfortunately.
middle of nowhere, really, we are.
But
And
now,
it's hard. And
here's
they're
the thing.
saying, and people say, well, this guard or this post player is not as good as this. They try to pin us against other players. But I must say, for my team, we have an all-around team, and there's not going to be one person who's going to score 30 points like somebody else would that has to score that much. They don't have to because it's all around.
But see, and that's the thing that's going to make your team so interesting because, like I said, my gosh, you're going 6'4", and your daughter's at what 6'1", 6'2" at the power forward, and then one of your best players, Madison, plays both guard positions, right?
Yes, point. She plays the point, or she can play on the wing. It doesn't matter.
And the magic words, unfortunately, when they say she's an EYBL kid, they're like, oh, wait a minute. Well, let me see what's going on with this one right here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think it's unfortunate that more people aren't paying attention to Baldwin's girls. Yes, people know about Baldwin's boys because they won state. But now I'm like, listen, that girls team is the real deal.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're working to try to get better and better because we got to take down these top teams.
Well, come state time, that's what it's going to be. And what I want to see, because when you win your region, your first state game is usually at home, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So you really wouldn't have to get out until second and third round.
Yes.
So in general, you have to come to either Columbus, Augusta, or Atlanta then, right?
No, so the first round of the state for us is the Columbus area. So whoever their fourth seed is will have to come to us.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then usually
we wouldn't see them again unless I think it's the final four. I think that's when we could see them possibly again.
What, maybe like like an Augusta or an Atlanta team? You wouldn't see them till like
Augusta, Atlanta, Albany area.
Even Albany? Albany's not that far from you.
Oh, yes, it is. It's about 2 hours and so too. Everything is far.
Okay. Listen, I can't wait to see you guys play, to be honest with you. Like I said, Will's my guy, and Will has definitely been high on you guys. He's like, Dave, you got to see them play. And I was like, all right, man, I'm going to get down there to check you guys out.
Well, I hope you do.
Definitely, I will. And, when I get down there, I will make sure I let you know who I am, shake your hand and everything. But I want to thank you so much for coming on the show because that's why I told Will, I said, you guys aren't getting the press that you deserve, and you have a really good team. A really good team.
I appreciate it. I appreciate this opportunity.
Anytime.
To get our name out there, because that's what I know I want for the girls.
Absolutely, and I'm all for that. Trust me, I will be talking about Madison a lot more because when I saw her, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, she'll be one of my featured players of the week. She can play. She's real good.
Yeah.
And like I said, Coach Stevens, like I said, he peeking. Trust me, with him peeking, he'll be like, okay, who's this Madison girl? I'm like, hey man, listen. That one's for real right there.
Yeah, she is. She really is. Like I said, she has the potential to be a D1 player.
And that's the thing I think you're being a little lenient on that because she already has some of them Power Fives looking at her. So
yeah, she does.
And with those Power Fives, that a lot of times a coach can sell me a player, but when the proof is in the pudding with the type of schools that are looking at her, like I said, it's no bias. I know that, and you know that as well. She's going to be good. And for a 2024 kid, she's going to be real good.
Yes.
So, I'll put it like this. Outside of coming to see you, I will be paying attention to you guys a lot more. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime. And this won't be the last time because I'll be following up to see how the bigs are doing, how Madison is doing, how you guys are doing.
The bigs, my daughter is my daughter in the 6 footer. Oh, they are averaging almost a double each game. So
okay. And they're They're sophomores or freshmen, the bigs.
Freshmen. The bigs are
The
freshmen.
6'4" one is a freshman?
Freshmen.
Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay. Yeah, she'll
The
be getting a
team
lot of
consists of freshmen and sophomores, and then we have one senior. That's how it goes.
Okay, but listen, like I said, the proof's in the pudding there. There will be definitely people paying attention to that team, hands down, trust me. And thank you for coming on. We will be talking really soon. You take care, okay?
All right, thank you.
Oh, anytime. That was Coach Kizzy Walker coming on the show. Man, when I say people don't understand, I love this show right here with it being Hoops Hitting Gems. Those are hidden gems. Not to be funny that they're in Milledgeville, Georgia. I promise you, people will hear a lot more about not just Madison, because Madison's an EYBL kid. And when you say that, everybody knows what it is. In general, if you're a shoe kid, you have some type of talent. But them 6'4s and 6'2 freshmen, you'd be a fool from any coach not to at least take a peek to see what's going on. Next coach that's coming on, man, I got to say he got the cheat code because he's from my alma mater. He's coaching at my alma mater. Definitely one of the up-and-coming coaches. Do not be surprised at some point if you don't see him as a head coach. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Coach Mark Stevens. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. You know, at some point I had to get Toledo on here, man, you know, since that's my alma mater, man.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you for having us, for sure.
Man, anytime, man. And as you can see, man, look, with Coach Walker, man.
I'm gonna have to give her a shout as soon as we get off here. Man, the kids she's talking about, you know, and you just make a good point of just, you know, not only EYBL kids, but I guess if you're doing your job, you've got to look in those hidden pockets. You know, I think
absolutely.
If you look at everybody's roster, everybody has a kid that, you know, that you take pride in finding, you know, that pans out, you know, and I think that's what, you know, I try to do. I think that's what our staff does a really good job of. And, you know, being a former EYBL guy myself, you know, I was with the gym rats for 10 years, you know, as a director there. It's one of those things to where everybody can't go to a BCS Power 5 top 25 school, you know, and I think that's what we're blessed here at Toledo is because, you know, we talk about trying to be giant killers. You know, everybody wants to go to those schools, but then at the end of the day, you know, we're a great situation. You know, we're nobody's second fiddle, so that's fun.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're going to get into that some more as we talk. You know, Toledo's part of the MAC conference, and, you know, traditionally they're a mid-major that knocks off those giant Power Fives that you're talking about, football and basketball, you know, men's and women's as well. And I know that Toledo has a rich history, especially on the women's side. On the women's side, there's some really good, you know, players that people don't know about. And, you know, you guys have a reputation for sending girls overseas as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, our head coach has been there 14 years. We've had 11 kids that signed a professional contract. And I think that's at the end of the day, everybody has a dream. And it's our job, you know, to get these young ladies a solid degree that they can lean on. But then again, help them aspire if that's what they want to do is to continue to play in post-collegiate basketball. So that's what we try to do too as well.
Absolutely. So, you know, with you being in Toledo and me being based in the Southeast, that's why I wanted to bring you on when we talked again. And, you know, I know your face is down here, but for people that don't know about Toledo, I just wanted to go into it some more. Tell some people some more about the University of Toledo.
I think the biggest thing when you start talking about Toledo is that we try to sell the people. You know, everybody talks about bells and whistles and what you got and what you don't have. I think the biggest thing for us is we sell our culture. You know, at the end of the day, the basket is still the same. The length of the floor is still the same. Everybody's got a gym that lights turns on. But I think the people that are in our locker room, I think our coaching staff, I think what you get with Toledo is you get an administration that values women's basketball. And I think that's, you know, a lot of places, a lot of times it goes football, then men's basketball, then women's basketball or volleyball or baseball might be jockeying for that third. You know, you don't really feel that at Toledo. You know, they consider us an equal partner. And we, you know, it's nice when you average 4,000 people a game. You know, we're top 26 in the country 2 years ago, pre-pandemic. And I think right now we're sitting in like top 20 in attendance. And that's fun, when girls, they see their hard work pay off by, the fans in the stands and the billboards. Our coach tonight she has a radio show every Monday. We're talking to 150, 200 boosters every Monday. Our kids just get a chance to get their face out in front of not only just donors and boosters, but people, potential job, opportunities. When you have 4,000 people at your game, that's 4,000 potential job interviews and resume builders and different things like that. So, I think that we just try to teach a little bit more basketball, because basketball takes care of itself. If you're a solid player, you're going to help wherever you go. But I think what we kind of do outside of the basketball is really good. We have a mentorship program. So what we do is we pair a young lady up in her field of studies. So if she wants to be a nurse, we pair her up with a really good nurse that we feel that's, whether it's in our hospital, whether it's, on campus. And now she gets a chance to job shadow her. She gets a chance to just kind of see the inner workings, because you don't want to get to your junior year and all of a sudden, I want to change majors, or I don't know if I really want to do this. But this, you get to go to lunch with this person. You get to go and job shadow this person. And I don't know if you were like me, my only person on my job resume when I got ready to graduate college was a coach and maybe my favorite one teacher, But now this way they get a chance to put somebody on their resume that is in their field of studies, that can speak on them not only as a person, but she can do this job. She's been watching me for the past 4 years, or I've had, I've given her this small assignment, or I've given her that small assignment, and it just, just gives a kid a chance to network, not just outside of sports as well.
Gotcha. And I like that. And that leads into my next question. So if I'm a 4-year player and if I want to basically come back and say, hey, coach, I'm looking into coaching, can I come back as a grad assistant?
Yeah, that's something that we definitely try to do. We actually have a grad assistant right now. And then we actually have an intern that actually started today, who's actually a senior at one of our neighboring schools. And I think that's what Coach Cullop does a great job of. She tries to grow the game. We have, obviously the WBCA, the NCAA women's basketball has a program. So you want to be a coach. We've been fortunate 2 years ago when they had it, because we had 2 young ladies that were able to join that program. And that's just a great program for anybody, not just at Toledo, anybody across the country who aspires to be a coach. And again, what better person to learn from is the lady who was just the president of the women's college basketball in the WBCA. So, it's just not just her. Coach Ivy was a former head coach. Coach Page played pro. And I think just our staff and diversity and different things like that, I think just gives our young ladies a chance. We even have a couple ladies that are our managers that are coaching, trying to do some high school type stuff, again, just to get their feet wet. And I think, we need, obviously the game is going to turn over at some point, just the younger ladies and the younger generation just to continue and want to do it the right way, not just go out and get the best 10 kids, and go and play, because it doesn't happen like that all the time.
Absolutely. So getting into the MAC conference a little bit, because what people don't understand, the MAC conference on the women's side is tough. Like, it's not like they go to the NCAA tournament. Usually whoever the MAC champion is, it's not unheard of for them to win 1 or 2 games in the NCAA tournament.
No, the MAC tournament is a great tournament, like you said. I think what's been fun about that, especially this year, it's nice, sitting number 1, but you always got to look over your shoulder. I mean, like you said, Buffalo, Central Michigan, those teams that's, went to Sweet 16s. And even I definitely got to give my boss, kudos. We won the tournament, our conference tournament in 2017. And again, having that chance to go to the NCAA tournament, just, 4 years, going on 4 or 5 years ago. But I think like what you said, not just that, she's every WNIT she's went to, she's always won a game. She's never went and not won at least one game. And not just us. Again, there's Kent State that's really good. Bowling Green is really good. Bowling Green won 3 games last year in the WNIT. And there's not a bad team in our conference.
Exactly.
From top to bottom, you got to show up to play. And then on the flip side of it, it's a little bit tough for us to find non-conference games, because now, some of those, again, those Power 5s, BCS schools is like, man, I don't really want to play them, because if we lose, man, that don't look very good. But then on the other side, our coach has great relationships with a lot of people, that allow, and she's not afraid to play anybody. We had a 4-year deal with Notre Dame, We played Missouri State, who was, I think, 6 out of our 8 teams this year in non-conference went to the NCAA tournament or the NIT last year. So I think that's what our conference as a whole does a good job of scheduling out of conference, because they know the grind of our conference tournament is so tough.
Absolutely. And, that's just one of them things, man. I tell people all the time, it's not a surprise because you guys are battle tested and you played really good teams along with a tough conference schedule. So you guys are ready, and people don't understand that part. When I used to have to explain, about mid-major basketball, people say, oh, well, they're, every once in a while they may knock somebody off. I'm like, listen, on the women's side, it's totally different. It's totally different on the women's side. Those mid-majors are very good. And like you said, I've experienced it. So I know all about Savage Hall. You know what I'm saying? Know all about it, and know how, for the women's games, when I was there, it was the great Dana Drew was there when I was there. And, that they had a terrific team when they were there. It was her and, Latoya, because Latoya ended up going overseas. I forgot her last name, but they had an awesome team. And to be honest, when I went and I just saw the atmosphere, I was like, man, this girls' game? I was like, man, this is crazy. So to your point of you getting any recruit on campus and they see that, that's a game changer right there.
Yeah, that's just the biggest thing. I think the biggest hurdle sometimes is again, you want, for us, we're gonna, whether you're number 1 in the country or number 415, you got to tell us no. We're gonna pick up the phone, we're gonna ask you, say, hey, you got any interest in University of Toledo? Because at the end of the day, if we get you on campus, I think we're gonna have an impression. Our facilities, they light up and glow in our locker room, TVs turn and do all kind of craziness. And I think at the end of the day, like I said, everybody's bells and whistles are the same as what can you add, to a kid's plate. And I think that's what we do a good job of.
Definitely. And not only that, what a lot of people don't realize is the educational opportunity you get there at Toledo as well. You get a great education as well. And people don't really find that out until they get there and say, oh, I didn't know, And so to add with what you guys are doing, and, I'll jump into this as we're getting into the middle of our conversation. What type of player do you look for when you're out on the recruiting trail? And I always ask that because I want some of these younger people that are watching, girls especially, like, what are you looking for when you see, and not to say, of course, you want somebody to fit your system, but when you're looking for body language, when you're looking for, is this a team player? What are you looking for?
I think the biggest thing is one, how can you affect the game? Everybody talks about you got to have this. At the end of the day, you got to have a kid who can shoot it. You got to have a kid who can protect the rim. You got to have a kid who can defend. But then you got to have a lot of kids who can do a lot of different things. But I think the biggest thing is, obviously, are you good enough, on the floor? How can you affect the game? But then next is you can't be a culture killer. We talk about energy vampires, and that's when it comes in, the body language. And, I've followed kids to concession stands before just to, because I don't know if dad's going to yell at you or you're going to yell at mom, or, some of those things matter. I think the biggest thing is, our motto is created by culture. Our head coach has been there 14 years. She averages 22 wins a year for a reason, and I think, we've got to not only recruit the best kids, but then we've got to protect our locker room. And I think our locker room right now, I think that's, we've got to make sure we're bringing in good kids that our kids currently like. And I think that's sometimes, where the struggle comes in, is you want to get the best kids, but then are these kids really going to fit in with the kids you already have? And I think that's, is something that we definitely try to take into consideration as well, because everybody's egos and attitudes and, the way they go about business might be different, but not saying that everybody's cookie cutters, but sometimes you got to have a kid who's not afraid to be unpopular. You got to have some of those dogs if you just keep, plain and simple. Again, you got to have some kids that, that can bring everybody together. But again, I think that's just the biggest thing. We just want to make sure that you can fit into our culture and that you have a trick. Everybody has a trick, but then it's up to us to develop other things. You know what I'm saying? If every kid came into campus, polished, then what are we getting paid for? So obviously you're recruiting kids because, in 2024, I need a PG. or in 2025, I got this kind of post kid coming back. So now I might need to get an athletic kid. So you're going to go out and get what you need, but it's everything else that matters to us.
Definitely. So now for incoming freshmen, when they come in, and to me, this is one of the holy grail, in my opinion. How important is it for a young lady to come into the University of Toledo's basketball program and know the shell drill?
Oh, it's the two things that I would say most important is the shell drill and being in shape. You can't try to learn everything that you're trying to learn and you can't breathe. If you're over there huffing and puffing, your hands are on your knees and you can't breathe. But again, the shell drill is important, especially I hate going. And again, you go to EYBL games and they're playing 2-3 zone, and I'm not saying I'm not knocking the 2-3 zone because obviously you got to do what you got to do to win basketball game. But again, the shell drill, like you said, it's a staple. I think we probably do it every day of some form, whether it's a transition, whether it's a baseline, whether it's coming out of a play. But again, it's just help side defense, because everybody on else's team has a key player that you may have, if you're playing with a true big, you might have to protect her. Maybe her foot speed's not good enough. Or your best guard, might be, a little slow footed or might be in foul trouble, but again, the shell drill is a staple. Again, it's just help side defense, being up the line, just different things like that. But it incorporates so much. You can incorporate shell drills into your zones, into your press. Everything is still jumping to the ball and help side. The shell drill, it translates to every form of defensive principles there is.
Absolutely. And that's why I always ask that question, because each variation I get from a coach is such a gem that I always want to cut and replay like on my Twitter page. So I say, hey, you guys need to learn this, because if you're not, let's be honest, you're coming in behind, correct?
100%. 100%.
And if you're trying to compete for time with juniors and seniors, they already know it. I mean, they've been doing it for 3 or 4 years. So, and even to your point of conditioning, college conditioning is a whole lot different than high school conditioning.
It is. The bodies are bigger. The floor is a little bit bigger. The pace of the game is a little bit, faster. And I think that, that now on top of that, all the concepts and the terminology and the different, now your mind is spinning, your body is spinning, and, your heart is pumping. So if your heart and your lungs and your legs and everything's not going at the same time, it's a struggle sometimes for young kids.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree with you more. And, so one of the most, let's take one step away from basketball for a quick second. When your players graduate, how important is it for you guys to have them be able to connect with alumni, like you say, to be able to hopefully find jobs or them help them? How important is that for your program?
Coach Cullum, she values that. We just had a young lady who plays in Spain, who's from Spain, played overseas when she got finished, was into our Hall of Fame. Now she's actually finishing her doctorate in NYU or NYC, one of them. But NYU, but she came back just the other day. And I think that's, so not only did she come back, like she came back from New York. It's not like she was around the corner, so I think that, and it wasn't for an, alumni game or nothing. She just wanted to come back. She said, oh, I had a weekend free. I got to go see my Ohio people. And I think that's what hits home for us, because at the end of the day, I think I tell recruits, you only have basketball for 24 hours of the week. You take, a couple games, 2 hours, take a couple weightlifting sessions, a couple practices, a couple study halls. You add all of that, that's only 24 hours. What are you doing for the other 6 days of the week while you're at that school? Are you around the culture? Are you around the coaches? Are you around the players that you want to spend 6 days with? And I think that's what we do really here, is just connecting. You've got to, the kids got to know you care before they know how much you know. And I think that's one of those things that we try to do as well. And I think we're a fun group. I don't know if you follow our Twitter and our Instagram.
Yes, I do. I do.
Coach Cullum does a really good job of just making our environment fun. And I think that's what, obviously you're there to do a job. They're there to fulfill their scholarships. They're there to get a great degree. We're there to win games, but our job, it goes further than just winning games. It's preparing young ladies for life.
Gotcha. Now, let's talk about the team you got for this year. Let's just talk about roster, talk about some of the great great, great young ladies you have, and the ones that are standouts and the ones that are important members that are the glue people as well.
Well, I mean, I think right now, we're sitting in first. You got to be excited about that in our conference, especially how talented our conference is, top to bottom. It obviously starts with with Kenesha Lockett. Again, she's a junior, got 3 years left, because of the COVID thing. Just a dynamic player. She's a 3-level scorer, athletic, long, from Nebraska. But again, I think you talk about hidden gems. Our starting 4 actually was a walk-on. We wanted to. We were just done with scholarships, and it was just one of those things that we knew she can play. The money just wasn't there. We had a full roster, and things just happened to where we were able to put her on scholarship. But she was just a young lady who just works her tail off. And I think we've got we have 3 kids that played in the EYBL circuit on our roster. But then again, we've got Quenisha, who's from Nebraska. We've got a couple young ladies who are just local kids who never played on the shoe circuit. But again, it's our job to go out and get those. But then you talk about, our point guard, Sophia Wyatt, led the league last year in assisted turnovers. And I think obviously it's a guards game. I mean,
yes.
it definitely is. I think we were able to do a really good job of this year of going out and getting some other key pieces. We were able to get 2 Big Ten transfers, and I think both of them helped us out. Hannah, right now and in the last 4 games is averaging like a double with 5 blocks. She's transferred in from Indiana. And then Nan Garcia, who's banged up right now and probably out for the year, and was able to do some things with us. Her first 12 games, she averaged about 9.6 rebounds for us. But again, Kier Goss, we talk about just doing. The New England Patriots have a sign in their locker room that says "Do your job," and I think that we've got a lot of young ladies who just does their job, and they do it because they're not caught up with who scores, or they're genuinely happy for the person to the left and to the right of them. We've got 2 kids who just guard their tail off. Kira Goss, who just gives the other team's best player fits, and she's held them, under their, again. So if you get, it's like a car, you got everybody doing their job, and good things happen.
Gotcha. And I like that philosophy as well. Man, so one of the big things, and this is big for me as well, you just touched something that I just wanted to expound on just a little bit. So, we know how it is. Like, we talk periodically, and I may say, hey, I have a 22 kid, and you may say, oh, Dave, we don't have any more scholarships for 22s, right? But if I can come back to you and say, hey, she's still willing to come and check out Toledo, and she's interested, but she has a 3.8, 3.9, or 4.0, and she takes AP courses. So Toledo's going to give her academic money to go with her, her need-based money. And it makes sense. You would look at her, correct?
Oh, 100%. I think that's just, it's just about finding your need. Every year a walk-on might not be the best situation, because if you're, especially right now, because with COVID and I think we actually have 16 kids on the roster. We probably wouldn't have taken one this year. In a couple of years when obviously the COVID senior thing goes away and you're down, if it's a good kid, a good kid that can not only help us in practice, but even potentially, and again, it's our job to get kids better, whether they're a walk-on, whether they're on full scholarship, whatever their case may be. You just never know. And it's like you said, especially if you get them for free. I mean, who wouldn't take free help? And I think, again, everybody's different when the whole walk-on situation. But again, I think that's what's what's really nice about basketball. Not you hear about it more in football, just obviously because there's more situations, but there's a lot of basketball walk-ons that ended up doing some really nice things. So
absolutely. So what's your record this year so far?
So right now we're 10-3. Our 3 losses, one was to Dayton, one was to Missouri State, 2 teams that won their league last year. And then we lost to Seton Hall in overtime, so again, 3, you never, pat yourself on the back for losses, but 3 losses that we try to take something from, each game. And again, just better starts, and better finishes. And I think that's put us in position now to have learned those lessons. And now we're trying to put them into play in the conference season, with so far, knock on wood, with a decent start right now at 4-0.
And look at it like this, what people don't understand. Those 3 losses, like, it wasn't like you got blown out by like 30 or 40 points. They were all quality loss. That's a bad word. I don't even like to take that
I'm a competitor. I don't like the word quality loss, but
the losses were you were in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like you said, it's again, it's just learning. Everybody says you learn more from losing than winning. Yes and no, I'd still rather win, but we definitely learned something from those losses.
Definitely, and I mean, but what people don't understand, yes, you guys are 10-3, but you're going into the meat of your schedule, and what people understand, like you're getting ready to play some really tough teams in the MAC conference. Like it's not like you're just going to blow through them and you're going to be 20-3 by the time March comes. And again, if you are, that's great. But what I'm trying to get people to understand is the expectation is, man, there's some really good teams in the MAC, especially on the women's side, where people don't understand, what's really going on.
Yeah, like you said, just this year, Kent State has beaten Pitt. They beat UCLA. Buffalo beat Syracuse. Maybe not this year, but I know like last year, Ball State beat like Purdue. Ball State, beat they beat a lot of people, and I think that's what again the teams in our league does a great job of scheduling non-conference because they know our conference is so tough. So I think that's why our conference every day is a grind, every Wednesday and Saturday now. So
yeah. And man, I gotta get back up there, man. And for me, it's not only because it's my alma mater. I'm big on atmosphere. Even if it wasn't my school, like I tell people all the time, like, man, people don't understand until you go to Savage Hall and to see a women's game at, to be quite honest, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, even though I know the answer to this. Sometimes there's just as many fans at a women's game as there is some of Toledo's men's games.
Yeah. Well, maybe not now. Coach Kowalczyk and his staff does a really good job, but we joke all the time. We outdraw 211 Division I men's teams.
Yeah,
I think that's it's a credit to Coach and what she's done with her culture over the 14 years. It's a credit to the coaches that were there before her, and I think just the biggest thing when you come in, I have recruits tell me, man, you guys got ushers and ticket takers and parking attendants. Like you're not coming into our place and half the gym, the curtain is drawn, or you can't sit over there because they're trying to keep everybody over here. Our VIP suites are all filled. We have a restaurant that's in our arena that is 150 strong. 90 minutes, 2 hours before the game even starts. And I think that's just something that when we get off here, I can send you a couple things. We have a fan tunnel that wraps around the floor, and the atmosphere there is unbelievable.
Oh, trust me. And Deshauna that just put up this games were the best at Savage. She's a Toledo alum as well. She was a track person at Toledo, so she knows all about Savage as well. And man, I can't say enough, man. What you guys do there, man, is top level, man. And like I said, I would compare, and I know this may sound cliche to say, but from an experience perspective, you guys give a Power 5 experience, and people don't understand. You have great facilities. When I was there was 30,000 students. I don't know if that's still the case now, but I mean, it's a big school as well. I mean, you can get to Cleveland, you can get to Detroit, you can get to Columbus, you can get to Dayton, you can get to Pittsburgh, you can get to Chicago in a short time. I thought it was centrally located. Now, I will be honest, get your coat when you come to Toledo, because I'm from Pittsburgh, and even when I went to Toledo, I was like, oh, this is a different level cold here in the wintertime.
It is a little cold, like you said. It is. But I think the biggest end of the day, it's 72 and sunny in the gym, and I think that's the most important about it is that, like you said, we give a big time atmosphere. I think, the whole BCS and Power 5, I still say that's a football terminology. Yes. Because again, when you start talking about the way that our student athletes are treated, our cost of attendance is, just the same as some of the Power 5. Our dorms, we've got kids who got dorms with stainless steel appliances and heated swimming pools and flat screen TVs and all that. Our dorms and stuff are really nice. Like I said, our locker room lights up and glows, and every locker has a 32-inch screen TV. And, I think But at the end of the day, is like, what does all of those bells and whistles and stuff like that give you? I think that, again, it's the education, it's the people. And I would put our coaching staff, our administration, our trainers are rock star, strength and condition. I would put all of our stuff up against anybody else's. And again, you take away the fact that Alabama and Georgia are playing tonight for BCS, the championship. That might be the only thing that's different, is that, you don't get 100,000 people at a football game, but our football team has gone to, 9 out of 11 or 12 years. They've gone to bowl games, so again, I think the overall thing at Toledo is just awesome. Our department GPA is a 3.3. And then our GPA for our team was a 3.46. So you're surrounded with, with young adults that are on the same mission as you, and not just women's basketball, men's basketball, football, so, like you said, I think we check a lot of boxes from top to bottom.
Oh, absolutely. And you forgot one thing, and Deshauna just said it.
The best
rec about the rec center. Yeah, the rec center is top notch. The rec is top notch.
It is. That swimming pool over there is massive.
Yeah.
And the big old giant slide. I think we might be the biggest slide in the recreation. I think anywhere in the country. I haven't been to many recs, but I can't see anybody's pool area being better than ours.
Man, yeah. And that's why, just bringing you on, and I always tell people, and a number of people already know about Toledo, but like for some of the people in the Southeast that aren't privy to Toledo, I'm like, man, you need to go check it out. I'm telling you. So when you get on campus, and the campus is beautiful, especially in the springtime. In the springtime, when you come right off of Bancroft, you be like, oh man, this is nice. This is real nice.
It is. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is like, it's kind of like you talk about, like, we're 15 minutes from downtown, but we're still in like a neighborhood area. So, we're the safest conference on paper, and in the conference. And I think that kind of puts parents' mind at ease. There's only three, a couple ways in, couple ways out. There's not, traffic, so if you're on campus, you belong on campus. So again, it's a safe campus. It's a pretty campus. You don't have to worry about taking commuter buses because it's so big, going from one to another. You can jump on a little Lime scooter or just walk, and get to each end. So campus, like you said, is nice.
Definitely. Hey, Coach Stevens, this definitely won't be the last time you come on, because I fully expect in March you guys will be playing in somebody's tournament. The way you're trending right now, it looks like the NCAA tournament, and I hope that's the case. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm biased on this one, but I really think you guys are headed in the right direction, and you have a quality program year in and year out, man. And that's the biggest thing more than anything. Young ladies are getting a great education. They're getting a great opportunity, and it's a competitive team. To be quite honest, that, like you said, a lot of the bigger schools don't want to play for fear of being knocked off. And the biggest thing I always tell people, if you have aspirations of playing professional, it is not unheard of coming out of the MAC to go play pro.
Yeah, most definitely. I think, and again, it just depends on, what you want to do, and again, no knock to anybody else. I think we do a great job of skill development. Me and Coach Ivy coach the guards, Coach Page coaches our post player with her, and Coach Cullup. And, like I said, it's our job to get our kids better each day. And you can kind of see that in our rosters and their statistics. And, we've got a couple of young ladies right now that are playing in the top leagues, over in Italy and Spain and different things like that, and I think that's just a testament, like you said, if you can hoop, there's definitely a place, if those recruiters and those, team owners and stuff are doing their job, you'll get out and you'll find a place to play.
Definitely. Hey, Coach Stevens, man, thank you so much for coming on, man. Like I said, this definitely won't be the last time for you to come on. And, like I said, if anything I could do down here in Georgia or the Southeast, as far as those hidden gems and get them to be a Rocket, by all means, you'll get a phone call, man.
You can pass my number out like candy. I'll talk to anybody. Again, I think we definitely, I value you and appreciate you. And again, just getting down in the South, and I think about it too is it's we'll come down there. You tell me where some kids are, we continue to do our job up here, and I'll talk to Coach Walker as soon as she gonna get a follow button as soon as we get off of here. I think that's just the biggest thing is just some ladies don't want to go away from home, and I get that. But again, in the event that they do, Toledo's a great place.
Definitely. Hey, brother, like I said, we will be talking, we talk periodically. We'll be talking probably after this, after the show is over. But, man, thank you again for coming on, man. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me. You have a blessed one.
All right, you too. That was Coach Mark Stevens, man. A great guy, really good coach, really, really good coach. And, it's just one of those things where, I like to introduce coaches from all over. And, Coach Stevens is one of those guys. Well, I can speak from experience because I know that campus like the back of my hand, and it's a great program. And, from anybody that's on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Toledo does a great job, not only of getting your kids better, but getting you a great education as well. My next guest, man, definitely a pleasure. This guy right here, when we talk about knowing the game very well and not only teaching it, but he's quite honestly making a splash. He's a former NBA player, and, that speaks volumes in itself. But he's now he's a head coach of a post-grad program named after himself. We got Mo Spates from the Golden State Warriors when they won a championship in the past. He has Mo Spates Academy, and he has a team Mo Spates, which is an AAU program. How you doing today, brother?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, man, and man, first of all, thank you so much for coming on, man. I already knew about you from the AAU circuit and seeing some of them teams you had, man. But, bro, what you doing out here on this post-grad circuit in your first year, you got people out here like, man, where is this guy coming from? And I'm going to say that's a testament to you because, quite honestly, that means you developing kids. I mean, number one, you're getting some good players, yes. But number two, for me, if you're going to go post-grad, 9 times out of 10, it's about development to get them ready for whatever schools they're going to go to, whatever level. And the way you got them playing, I'm like, man, hold on. When I first heard about you, I hadn't seen you play yet. But when I was like, I was texting people like, hey, man, you got to see this team. This team is pretty good, man. And,
Right.
man, that's just props to you, what you're doing, down there in Florida, man. And, I just wanted to introduce everybody that doesn't know about, Mo Spates Academy. This is the platform for you to talk about your program, what you're doing down there. And quite honestly, we'll go with results and, we'll talk about the interest you're getting from some of your kids as well, man.
Nah, like you saying, I'm a postgrad. This is our first year doing it. This is my first year doing it. But the biggest thing about these kids nowadays is trusting the process of a guy who did it.
Yeah.
So I did it. I went to postgrad. I played at the highest level they trying to play at. So once you get kids that's really trusting the process and understanding what they coming to, they'll do anything for you. So my guys really bought in. When they first got here, it was a real month, probably and a half that they got here, that really had to get initiated to the program to make it understand, like, damn, this is different. This is what I need. And a lot of kids who I had when they first got here and see them now, they totally different people.
Yeah. So when you say they're totally different, is it from a development or what's expected of them? What is it that you preach and harp to them that makes them different?
Just the small things, being in high school, sometimes you don't get taught the small things or the little things because sometimes those coaches never did it. So it's kind of hard to tell a kid to do something that you never did before. So it's all about the little things. Like everybody just look at the glamorous basketball and this and that. Nah, it's about not pulling up at the baseline and finishing through or jogging off the court or even taking care of your living spaces because everybody else around you won't get sick. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about the little things that my program is about. And like you said, for the first year, we set the tone. So I got to give credit to my guys. It's really, I could put them in the right situation, but it's up to the kids to really go out there and produce and put in the work every day. And I'm very proud of my guys of doing it every day. Sometimes not really complaining that much, man. The guys understand. They see the end goal of it, so they don't really complain. You just go out and play hard, man. Practice hard. We do everything as a team. We look like a team. It's all about a brotherhood, and that's why I was able to really starting and be able to get these guys freedom to stay by themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, y'all guys coming down here, y'all parents trusting me to put y'all in a right situation, and they buying in. Honestly, they buying in. I gotta give credit to them.
So let me ask this. So basically what you're telling me is you're big on details, because that's really what we're talking here. Those details that you're saying that is the difference between making you a good player, a good college player, or possibly a pro, correct?
Right. Yeah. If you talk to all the pros or even high level college players or college players in general, you talk to them, they always gonna say they always gonna say the little things, because the little things gonna make you be successful. The little things when you go to the league or go to college, that those little things you were saying, oh, man, damn, coach, those little things in high school or post grad that you want to take serious, that gonna come back and bite you, or you get into practice 5 minutes before practice. The little things, no, get there an hour before, 2 hours before, stay 2 hours after as a rookie, as a freshman. You know what I mean? Small stuff like that it didn't make sense to them when they first got here when I was saying it, but now they seeing that the success is coming from those little things. Well, buddy, your body language messed up. You're not cheering for your teammate. I'm looking on the film. I'm pointing you out on the film that, all right, buddy, look at you. Your teammate just died on the floor, took a charge, and you over there pouting because yourself. Nah. And that's the thing about post-grad. A lot of these post-grad kids average 25, 30 in high school. But at the end of the day, why are you here? It's something else. It's not scoring. It's something else that you need to improve on. You know what I mean? So that's why I think post-grad is really good for a certain kind of player that's willing to come and get out of that comfort zone, leaving their parents. You know what I mean?
So, let's talk about Mo Spates Academy, your post-grad. And, this is no disrespect to any post-grad, but if I'm a parent and I'm entrusting Mo in taking my kid and making them better, what are you doing that's making it different than other post-grads? And this is not a knock, because there's some great post-grads, but is it the exposure piece? Like we talked about the attention to detail that we already talked about. Is it everything? Like you're playing in some of the really good events all over the country, correct?
Yep.
And
so I feel like I think it'll be all of that. Just really experience. First semester or first half of the season, we already probably flew like 10,000 miles, different places, just playing in different regions of the country. Just to get them exposure. And I mean, a lot of these people never really travel like we have been traveling. And just really trusting like I keep saying, trusting the process, because I went to post-grad basketball. Like, you know what I mean? So I know what it takes.
Exactly.
I know, you know what I mean? I know the everyday grind. I know what it really takes, but I'm taking my experience and then taking the modern day, like right now, what these kids need now. Because these kids wasn't the same like how we was growing up. You see what I'm saying? So these kids is more like technology kids. So they really smart with knowing a person who know what they talking about, somebody who don't know what they talking about. So you really gotta be patient. You really gotta be cautious about that, because they really know that. So I built a team with a group of guys that know it, coming here like, man, I'm gonna trust Mo. I'm gonna trust Coach, because he did it. And already, like, just think about it. Like 5 months we've been in business, I probably had 70 coaches come to the gym and see these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before we played one game, we had 25, 30 coaches come in there. Head coaches, assistant coaches. You see what I'm saying? So it's there. I'm gonna put you in a situation. It's up to you at the end of the day. I'm gonna put you in a situation to be successful. But if you come in, coaches coming in and you trying to do stuff, or sometimes you're too nervous, you don't want to mess up, that's on you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're leading right into my next question. So let's talk about the roster you have and the roster that you have and some of the interests some of your kids are getting.
So I'll start off. Want me to go through all of them?
Yeah. Well, let me say this. It's not like you only got 3 or 4 players that's getting interest. Your whole squad is getting interest. So yeah, absolutely.
I just break down each player. Like, all right, I'll start off with AJ. AJ, one of my AAU kids. He one of the 2 seniors we have, because everybody else post grad, him and Jamar. But AJ is one of my guys who's been in team space AAU program for like 3 or 4 years. So he know what kind of brand we have, and that's probably one of my favorite players ever because he has that it. He step on the court, he has that it. But right now he want to come back for a real post grad year. So right now he's getting a lot of D2 interest. Because he was stuck so kind of one way for a long time, just being a defender. But now I'm developing him to be able to attack offense. So I think another year with him is giving him confidence to be able to work hard every day and practice on the little things of offense. Then I feel like he'll be a really good steal, a really good person for a school. Then I go to Jamar Franklin. He the other senior in my team, 17 years old, youngest guy in post grad probably. But he's already signed to South Alabama. He played with me in AAU also the whole summer, him and AJ, the whole summer. He had over 25 offers this summer. And that's just a kid, like nobody knew about him. Then he just came with me in the AAU and had the confidence and just took over. And one thing about him, he's consistent. You always hear Jamar Franklin, you always hear consistent when it comes to me. You see what I'm saying? Then got a kid named Jalen Keagle. He's from Wisconsin. As of late, I've been getting a lot of interest. He's getting a lot of interest from a lot of D2s, a couple of small D1s. But he's a guy that from Wisconsin that he knows how to play basketball. He knows, got very great IQ. He's definitely a mismatch for different positions. He could mix it up. He's a really good shooter, and he can mix it up to the goal. So he's getting a lot of interest. But post grad, you just gotta be patient.
Yes.
Then I got a kid, Jordan Johnson from West Palm Beach. Strong guard. We call him Eric Bledsoe because he got a body like Bledsoe. He's athletic, but I think he's better. He getting same also. A couple lower D1s, but a lot of high quality D2s, national championship type of teams. Then I got number 5, Duke. He's from Charlotte. Khaled. He's from Charlotte. Really good guy. He gonna pick you up full court. 6'4" also. Just smart. Just love playing basketball, man. You can tell he got something to prove on the court. He should. Like a lot of my guys are gonna have like a lot of good D2s and a good one just because of transfer portal. Right now, you see what I'm saying? I'm talking about right now in January, but coaches continue getting more buzz, like you saying, getting more buzz what we got going on. So the recruiting is definitely picking up. I'm never gonna panic because I understand what kind of product what kind of players these guys is stepping on the court. So back to the roster. We got Jalen. Jalen already got a multiple offers from a high D2. Jalen Jordan, kid from Hillard, Florida. Strong lefty. Still figuring it out. And once you figure it out, it's gonna be really, really killer. Then we got David Dickson. David Dickson, his story is crazy. He tore his ACL in 2019, so he wasn't able to play AAU in July or high school this past year. So that's the only reason he came here. Before then, he had offers from Seton Hall, Texas A&M, DePaul, all these schools. So that's one of the stories that I love to have him around. I be on him really hard because he never really been coached, but he knows from me loving him. You see what I'm saying? So he got offered, like Ole Miss came back in strong to get him again, offering him again. Moorhead offering him, and he got a lot of interest right now coming in. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff that's coming in for him in recent because he's 6'9", 6'8", able to do it, mix it up. So can't really find too many of those. Then I got Isaiah Jones, a Nashville kid. David from Memphis. I got Isaiah from Nashville, 6'7". He played with an AAU team. We all could go. So he was on that team. You know what I mean? So he was on that team. He changed his body here. He looked totally different. Every coach coming to the gym's like, I remember that guy. This guy looked totally different. What do you do to him? You know what I mean? He just works hard. He a leader. He loves basketball. You know what I mean? So he one of those guys that's going to get on a college program and be able to impact the team in different kind of ways because he's a leader.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? He getting a lot of interest too from like mid-major D1s and stuff like that. Then I got another kid named Evan Stinson from West Palm. One of my favorite players. He lead by example. 5'8", first person in sprints, first person in everything. Nobody knew who he was in high school. He came here in development, getting his confidence better, and so now he's been a big impact for our team. Honestly, better than I thought. Not really better than I thought, but I knew he was always working by the way he came down here and worked out for me before the season. I just knew he had something to prove when he came down here. So coaches are starting to ask questions like, "Who is that kid? Who is that kid?" He don't talk that much, but he leads by example. But being the first or lifting the most or just being that leader. You see what I'm saying? I got a kid named Matt Alexandra, just got here from a great post grad in Kansas, next level prep. They got a good program out there, but you know what I mean? Things happen. None but respect for those guys, but things happen that he ended up coming here doing a break. Max is a really high level guard, like 6 foot, but he come from Kansas, so those guys out there, you know, you're playing the right way.
Yeah,
I think he averaged like 29. Yeah, he averaged like 29 in high school, but he's here. He's just a strong, hard-nosed work ethic is crazy. He run miles at night without nobody telling him. He lift weights daily, and he's just strong on the court. He getting a lot of interest from like a lot of mid D1 guys that they've been recruiting for a minute. So, let me keep thinking. I think that's about all the guys.
Okay.
Because I got 10 guys right now.
So let me ask this, Mo. So also one of the big things, you said something that's definitely caught my attention, and that is that you're open to other levels than just D1, because we always know that everybody can't go D1, and there's some really good D2 programs that are quite honestly better than some D1s.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that you're open to that, you know, whether it be a D1. And I know every kid wants to go D1, D2,
Right.
and I know the type of team you have right now. I mean, I know, you know, you got a great team, but to hear that you're entertaining and listening to D2 or NAI, or, you know, I can only imagine every JUCO in the country is probably trying to holler at you for a kid that if they're not going D1, they're going to be looking at you and like, hey, let me at least get this kid and help develop him some more, because they know what you're doing. And, you know, I know your story about the post-grad you went to. You went to a really good post-grad, and the way it sounds like you're basically following that motto of what you did there to, you know, institute in your kids there. And, you know, you're just doing it in Florida. And, you know, Florida is a great place for athletes. Even though you're getting kids from out of state, you got some of the Florida kids that are really good athletes as well. And with you showing them the way, yeah, you're going to make some noise because you're training them the right way. Right. You're giving them that exposure, and just listening to you like they hitting the weights. We know how important changing the body is, you know, because when you come from high school and go to college, those are grown men, and they've been on them weights for 4 straight years, and you coming in at 175, 180, nah, you're going to have some problems unless you're just beyond elite, you know. And so what people aren't understanding is, even as these guys we're talking about, like, even if they play for, you know, Team Most Spates, when they get to college as a freshman, people don't talk about these guys struggle until they figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you're making that big jump from high school to college, and especially now, you know, because of COVID, you know, a lot of these opportunities are even less for some of these high school kids, but you got these hungry JUCO kids that are 22, 21, 22. So if you're 17, 18 and trying to jump in the game real quick, you can agree with this. The way we're trending right now, it's almost going to be almost a requirement that you go post-grad to get yourself together, man. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be some great top 100 kids that can go make an immediate impact. But I'm talking about some of these kids that you even mentioned, like, yeah, you look good in high school, but you need another year of development. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's just one of them things, like, you know, as we start trending towards more, you know, post-grads, and, you know, I always want to be careful about quote unquote startup postgrads, because there's some that just don't do it the right way, and they may have a good heart, but like you said, until you live that, a lot of times you can't teach it.
Right.
And that's not to say it can't be done. I'm no means am I saying that, but when I know how to walk 5 miles and I can teach you how to walk 5 miles in a certain way, like, yeah, I can show you a lot better than saying, hey, I've coached this for 20 plus years. You can say, hey, man, your body is going to do this at this certain time. It's going to break down and you're going to feel like you're going to want to quit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people don't understand. A lot of times kids can connect to somebody like that and be like, well, number one, they look at your resume, of course. But number two, when you can relate and say, man, this is what's going to happen. And sure, coaches can say that as well. But when it's an experience and they say, this is how your body feels right now, and I know you want to quit, but if you push through, you will see these results.
Right.
And like I said, that's why they're trusting you. And that's why all of us are starting to see a team. We're like, man, where does this team come from here? And you're playing very good teams. And that's what's got people's attention. It's not like you playing, mom and pop post grad and beating them by 40. You're playing really good teams. And those good teams, you're giving them havoc. And now people are saying, wait, who's this team? Yeah. And they can't discount you to say, oh, he's a first-year program. This isn't, XYZ. They can't discredit what you're doing because those results are showing, hey, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and what you sent off that is basically like, honestly, like it's different experiences that it's really when teams see my program at an event, they really telling directors, yo, we're not coming unless we play this team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no credit for none of that. These kids work their tail off. These kids work every day. So for a first-year program to be able to get respect from people all around, like, it's amazing. And that's why I tell these group of guys, y'all my first group of guys, that y'all guys especially, man, y'all going on the record books of being the first team to walk in the gym and produce like how y'all produce, and everybody want to play y'all.
Yeah.
Like how everybody want to play y'all, it's the first year. You see what I'm saying? I know because if you got an NBA coach coaching you, but at the end of the day, ain't just no random teams gonna want to play y'all like that. You see what I'm saying?
They want to play you, Bo, if of course you're talking about your resume, but if you was losing by 30 or 40, exactly. They'd be like, oh man, this is a novelty. But now people want to play because, like you said, you're playing those top teams and you're beating a number of them. And now they're saying, oh, well, let me line up against them, which is a great thing, because, everybody wants, they want to hunt, the top dog, so to speak. And, you went from the hunter to being hunted now, you know what I'm saying? Real quick.
Quick. Yeah. and I tell my guys that, I say, yo, I always think about when I was with the Dubs, with the Warriors, and just think about this. I say, after we won a championship, we won 24 straight. Everywhere we go is a show. Everywhere you go, the ticket prices was 10 times more. So I tell these guys, everywhere we go, they know who y'all are. You see what I'm saying? So when y'all walk in the gym, half-assing, and y'all give some guys confidence who don't supposed to get confidence. Now it's not talking trash. Now it's this. Then you're gonna try to turn up late. You see what I'm saying? Like, and see, honestly, with the season we have been having, like we've been playing a lot of games. I think we played 34 games already, and it's only January. We got a lot more to go. So it's like these guys, I know these guys in the grind. The guys grinding, and guys want to keep beating us. So I got to make sure in practice before the game, let these boys know, like, yo, y'all is the 100. Do not relax. You got to be addicted. And that's one thing I feel like these kids nowadays is not addicted to winning. They okay with losing. A winning is a mentality. You see what I'm saying? You got to be addicted to it. You got to want that feeling forever. And then when you lose, it got to hurt so bad that you don't want to do anything. You want to shut it down. You see what I'm saying? But nowadays, social media and text messages from parents like, you balled out. Nah, mom, we just lost. Please don't say that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't got to be like that, but if you want to go far in basketball, far in anything in life, you can't be okay with losing. You can't be okay with failing. You see what I'm saying? And you can't be trying to not fail either. Like, I'm gonna go out here and play as hard. If I lose, I gave my all. But a lot of people scared to give it their all because they're scared of losing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Every guy who played a sport, every doctor, every lawyer, they lost before. You see what I'm saying? And they're not scared to lose. Mm-hmm. But I know I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Let me ask you this, man, and this is just as I look at you as a first-year program, because you do something unique. You have a post-grad program, and then you got Team Mo Spates, the AAU program, right? So let's just go with and I can hear it in your voice, and I'm asking just out of curiosity. Like, let's say you got some unsigned kids, right?
Yeah.
Do you flip them right over to Team Mo Spates and let them play April?
Are you talking about my team right now?
Yeah, let's say like what you have right now. And I'm not saying all of them because we know that. Yeah, like some of your unsigns. Do you let them play with Team Mo Spates, or you just let them go home, or give them the option? Let me ask that, because you have, quite honestly, a different situation. Like, I knew you from AAU, so when you started this, I was like, this is gonna be dangerous because now he got AAU and he got a post grad.
I get to coach these guys every day, and that's the difference. This and AAU, I got them on the weekend once a month, but this right here, I'm able to coach these guys every day. But to be honest, like, no, I just feel like I know these guys gonna have something before then.
Okay.
But if they don't, like, for example, if they don't, yeah, come on. You see what I'm saying? But
I ask that because of the dog mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt exactly what you were saying, because from our AAU team, man, it drove me crazy. Like, we had 7 kids on our unsigned team. 6 of them got something, and the 7th one, he didn't get what he wanted, but he was trying to go somewhere else, and it didn't pan out. But he's a great student, and he started out just going to regular school, and that ate at me. You know what I'm saying? It ate at me because I'm like, man, I know he can go somewhere to play. And we're still working right now to get his situation straight. So when you said that, man, it just translated to me, because I hate to lose. I hate to lose. And if I lose, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to be back again and again until I get it right. You know what I'm saying? And like what you're saying, you want to translate that into the kids, and we get their kids, and they don't always get that. But, you know, sometimes they can just feed off that energy, man. It's just, you know, you hope that it becomes contagious. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you know, and that's why I asked that question, because I was thinking, I said, I know if he was in our position, if he got 8 of 9 and there's one unsigned, he's gonna be like, man, come on. So, you know, I can get you on, you know what I mean?
Right.
So just in as we end this coming on the show, you know, one of the last questions, you know, most of your kids that you have, you know, they're qualifiers, correct?
Yeah.
And so with them being qualifiers, you really don't have to worry about credit recovery and something to that extent. And let me ask this: what about the kids that want to go to take some community college classes? Do you have that option?
Yeah, I got one of my kids, Evan, the kid from West Palm. He's taking classes at USF.
Okay.
A couple more of them taking like regular college classes.
Okay, and they're taking like part-time, right?
I think my post-grad team is averaging like a 3.2 GPA.
At USF and at the
I'm talking about even in high school, like they graduate.
Okay.
They average like a 3.2.
Wow.
Got a couple guys like a 4.0. You know what I mean? So these guys qualified. These boys ready to play, and that's the part I'm saying. Coaches are starting to realize it, and sometimes coaches be thinking it's fake when I be reaching out to them. You know what I mean? Because I understand.
Yeah. You know, that's a whole nother conversation, Mo. You know what I'm saying? And with you coming in being new, they don't want to get burned with compliance and all that other stuff as well. But if you're able to validate, and see, that's my thing. Like I said, when you giving transcripts and you can give them NCAA IDs to say, hey, this is legitimate. This is this kid's grades. And he goes to USF and he goes to whatever community college, like you said, now I knew you guys had a good team, but now people are starting to understand, hey man, this isn't a bad look here. You know what I'm saying? And that's coaches more than anything. Like, the people that have seen y'all, they were raving like, oh man, who are these guys? Like I said, and I was one of them, like, man, these guys are really good. And my first question was, is it Mo or is it some super development guy? And they were like, no, it's Mo. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So man, definitely.
I gotta get all of them credit though. I gotta get the boys credit. I gotta get the guys credit. And the support we have from down here, from family, from everybody, we got a lot of support. So, like I always say, I gotta get the guys credit. I'm only here to help guys get to places they want to get to. But at the end of the day, they gotta do the work, and that's what it shows. That when somebody trusts you, when somebody just buy in and listen to not really listen, but buy into the system and trust that you know what you're talking about because you've been through it already. I've been through a lot of situations, so. I'm really just trying to guide these guys. I say God. I'm trying to guide these guys to a place that they could change their life forever.
Yeah.
That their parents would be so emotional, seeing them signing, seeing them going to school, and make them feel like a feeling they never had before.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Hey, man, listen, man, I can't wait to see y'all come up here that weekend of the 30th, man. Oh, no, matter of fact, you're coming this weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I see it. I'll be there. I probably won't be there Saturday, but I'll be there Sunday and Monday.
You play Skills Saturday on Saturday.
I have to cover another game. What time y'all playing?
They ain't seen me schedule yet. Prime time. The coach said it's gonna be a prime time though. So
I'm gonna definitely try and catch that one. My son plays in the afternoon, so I'm gonna check to see what my schedule looks like. But either way, you play just on Saturday or are you playing Sunday as well?
We're gonna play Sunday. We're trying to figure out who we're gonna play Sunday.
Okay, definitely, man. Definitely, I'm gonna catch you on Sunday. We'll get together and we'll rap, man. Look forward to chopping it up with you. All right, brother.
Sir, appreciate you.
Man, anytime, man. You take care, man. I'll see you on Sunday, brother.
All right, bet.
All right, take care. Mo Spates, man, listen, when I say, not me, just anybody, when you hear trust the process, that can be generic and it can be 100% generic because a lot of people use that term. But a lot of times when you hear it from people that have lived it, and not only people that have lived it, but, have some type of experience, it hits home a lot different when people are telling you right from wrong or, trusting that person that they're going to guide you to where they want you to get to. And, Mo's one of those guys, in just this short period of time, I mean, he has his team rocking and rolling and, definitely hats off to him on that. One of the things before I jump off for tonight, January 29th or 30th, if you're in Atlanta, come and check out the tournament's being thrown by Hoops Hitting Gyms and Baseline to Sideline. They're having a big post-grad tournament here. It'll be at a great venue. Also, shout out to Love of the Game, who will be one of the biggest supporters of that, and they'll be big on the media side as well. And, like I said, coaches, players that are looking at post-grads, if you want to come check it out, there'll be over 25 teams there. So there'll be some really good teams from Canada, Texas, Florida, Alabama, all over, Mississippi. There'll be some really good teams. So if you're here in Atlanta, definitely come check it out. Next week, we got another big show that we're, getting together. Actually, while we were on the show, I got a text, and if she's watching, I definitely want to congratulate her because she's been on fire lately. Kristen Narcisse, Hoops Hitting Gyms, Women's Hoops Hitting Gyms client, has just received an offer from the College of Charleston. Big congratulations to you. The best is yet to come, young lady. You have so much talent that people that don't know about. I fully expect in the next 4 months, if you don't know about this young lady, you will. She got the MVP at the Sugar Bowl Classic down in New Orleans. Her team, Lafayette High School, won the championship. Actually, shout out to Newton High School on the boys' side here in Georgia. They won the boys' side of it. Coach Gibbons, I see you doing your thing. I mean, nothing unexpected because they have a load of talent over there. But, I just want to keep advocating for kids, and I want to bring people on to show by example. Coach Stevens, thank you very much. Coach Walker, thank you very much. I mean, for people that don't know about Baldwin High, get down there and see those young ladies. They can play. Actually, the boys can play too, but, I just want to be able to advocate for schools like that because, yes, they're not in Atlanta, but they have some great talent as well. So come check us out next week. We got another great show. I look forward to seeing y'all again. I'm David Jones with Hoops Hitting Gyms podcast. You guys take care.